Hi. So as you can tell, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because, things. So I decided, hey, let's upload again because it's definitely been a while. Okay, so what I've determined over my hiatus period is that social media is dumb. And here's why. So the huge problem I see with social media is its potential for negative effects. There's just this huge gaping potential for anything negative to come out of it. It's like there are positive things, but there's really more negatives than positives, and that's not a good thing. For example, cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a huge problem and can lead to this thing that is known as Facebook depression. And I don't know why it's titled Facebook depression. I didn't name it myself. And the bigger problem outside of that is that it makes the depressive symptom addictive. So you don't want like a depressive addiction because that's just really, really not good for your mental health whatsoever. Social media can cause a lot of different types of neglection. I win! We did it. So social media can also cause a multitude of different things such as
neglect of personal life, mental preoccupation, escapism, mood-modifying experiences, and most importantly, tolerance and the concealing of the addictive behavior.
So your body figures out a way to try to justify what you're doing. So they also did another test that, no, how are you hitting me through walls? Stay over there, sir. Mind your business. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage. What? Okay, so based on the resources that I used, which the bibliography is down in the description, they did a study that showed that people who were taken away from the internet for a short period of time experienced withdrawal symptoms. Meaning that they felt like they were, if you compare that to drugs and alcohol, they felt like they were being taken, like something was being taken away from them and they could not live without it, is what the feeling was. And that's not really a good feeling to have about the internet. Okay, he drank a strength potion, but it did nothing. Haha. And when people stopped using the internet and social media, they undergo small psychological changes, which could either be from withdrawal or from, like, good, I guess, that they're being taken away and on a break from social media. Got him. People also tend to feel a lot more anxiety when they aren't allowed to use social media. Social media also... I just wanted to talk. Social media also tends to trigger more sadness and less well-being, like less personal well-being, so it makes you feel worse about yourself, which is, that's not really a good thing either. I wouldn't call any of the stuff that I've listed so far really a good thing at all. Facebook was also, when they did studies, Facebook was also found to be linked to both less moment-to-moment happiness and less life satisfaction. So you're going to feel less satisfied about your life and you're not going to be as happy as you were if you were not using social media. Social media use is also linked to greater feelings of self-isolation, and I understand that we're in a time in a period of self-isolation and self-quarantine. However, it gives you a greater sense of that. So even with people that you're living with, for example, it could make you feel like you're not living with them. Also, the more time people spent on social media platforms, the most socially isolated they felt. So it's an infinite cycle. And it just keeps going up and up and up. So the more time you spend on social media, the worse off you're gonna feel. Is he skybasing? What is this? Haha. And he fell. Victory! Something else the article mentioned was that perceived social isolation is not good for humans. I get that we're in a time of social isolation, but just perceiving that you're in social isolation is not good for you. And it can make you feel alone even if you really aren't alone. Social media can also make it a lot easier to compare our lives with one another, which is also not very good at all for your health. Come here. Come here. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting. Got him. He burnt to death. Haha. That sounds terrible. Am I sorry? No. And victory. 5 kills. Woo! People feel socially isolated on social media because of the comparisons that we make. So we make judgments about how we measure up to other people. And it makes us feel like we are either better off than our friends or worse off than our friends. And even being better off makes us feel worse. So any comparison is bad for us. You're always going to feel worse after you compare yourself with another person. Just gonna barge in onto this fight. Okay. Got him. Hap. And that should be all of them. Yay! And this all leads to jealousy and creates this vicious cycle that can cause people to try to one-up each other and see who can make the other person the most jealous. And turns out, when envy isn't present in social media, the platform tends to be a lot less, what's the word, depressing. So the problem is that we compare ourselves to each other. We always try to look for comparisons and differences that can make us either jealous of our friends or less jealous of our friends. But like I said earlier, any comparison is a bad comparison. You never ever want to compare yourself. You're always going to get the bad end of the shtick. How did you block clutch that? You can't block clutch that. Come back here. This is stress. This is pure stress. Which is also not good for you because social media can also cause stress. Relevant to the topic? I think so.
Hotel Trivago.
Oh my god, I killed him? Really? That was incredible. Every time we log on to social media, we always feel like it's going to make us better. Like we're always going to feel like we're better after looking at social media. But what tends to happen is the complete opposite. It tends to make us less happy. And in that way, it is really an addiction. Because your addictions always, like if you were addicted to opioids, for example, you would always feel like taking opioids is going to help your pain, but instead it's going to make it worse. So you take it again to hopefully make it better, but it ends up being worse. Is this the last guy? That was a mistake, sir. Also, having more friends on social media does not make you a more social person. Virtual friends don't tend to have the same effect that real-life friends do on a person. Which is, I feel like that's a pretty obvious thing, is that having more friends does not make you more social, and I think I actually tend to have this problem. I feel like I'm more social because I have more friends on social media, but in reality, it's the complete opposite. What are you doing? What you doing? Do it. I'm gonna spleef you. Whee! And victory! We do it again. Yes, let's go. So after watching this video, if you want to take a break from social media, Studies have found that it's going to help boost your psychological well-being. So you're going to feel better after you take a break. You're going to feel less anxiety. You're going to feel just lighter as a person. But don't take a break from my videos, please. I need the views. So I guess the moral of this story is don't go to social media if you're bored or if you're needing an emotional lift, because it's really, really, really not going to help you. Where the heck did I go? I had a lot more topics for today, so if anybody wants me to make a part 2, please let me know down in the comment section. Anyway, guys, that's all. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making this. That's all for today, and I hope to see you all soon. So, ciao for now. Bye!